guys, welcome to Flory Models Daily Show. Here we are on Friday the 14th of October 2016, an end of another really busy week. First of all, Bob says, is the vlogs getting shorter? Purely when I'm on a roll, as I said on the forum, there's only so many hours in a day. So when I'm sort of, you know, filming and you get on a roll, and obviously there's a lot of editing to do, really there's nothing to show you. And at the end of the day, I just don't want to make a sort of half-hour vlog show. The whole point of doing the vlogs was when something interesting happens, I can just grab this camera and shoot with it. So it's not like I've got to pull other cameras away, because as you know, we've got 4 cameras running continuously doing filming down there. This is what you can see over here. So, you know, the bit is when it used to be a case of, right, okay, something interesting, I used to move all the cameras and everything else and come back and do it. This way I can just pick the camera up and go. But it's like a double-edged sword, because when there's nothing really happening, and to be honest, editing, nobody's going to want to watch me edit. Editing is probably the most boring job you can do of part of this entire thing. So there's nothing really to see there. Delivery wise, to be honest, I've got a couple of things coming in today which I will share with you. Obviously you like to do the unboxings and seeing what's coming in. I always will share those with you, but really it's been very quiet because we have been pushing on very heavily with the Mitsubishi, purely because, not I want to get it out of the way, it's just that I'm on a roll with it. It's going along, it's going in really quickly, fine, and then that way, literally today, I plan on having it finished, okay? So I'm spending a little bit more time today pushing through, because to be honest, I'm a little bit ahead of reviews. I've got stuff that a lot of you known I've shown you weeks ago and you haven't seen the review of it yet, so I've got a pile of reviews stacked up. I just need to edit them and things like that. So that's what I've been trying to do this week, catch up with all the editing, which I've done, and then catch up with obviously all the bits and pieces around as well. So again, it's just all stuff that, to be honest, is pretty boring, and I just don't want to make a vlog which is boring. At the end of the day, it should be exciting, punchy, and everything else. So that's why really we've been doing it the way we have. And also I think really a 10-minute vlog is about the right length. When you look around at other people's vlogs, they all tend to be about 10 minutes. So when you put that into context with other things, then you're still getting a massive amount per day. Because you think if you get a full build up per day, that's 30 minutes plus the vlog. And then obviously if you get in, like yesterday, you had the Hind. So all right, it was only a short 5-minute vlog, but then you had a 25-minute review. So it's still half an hour a day of video going up there, which I don't think is a bad rate for one guy doing it on his own. Anyway, talking about the Hind, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Grab it. So this was John's Hind, as we can see here. It is a fantastic kit, really nice. Again, a lot of people have said about it's nice to see that I'm reviewing 1/72 stuff. Obviously, if there's a good kit of it, I will review it. They are around. A lot of you have put links up into the forum of where you can still get them. E-models apparently have still got them. There's a couple, obviously, one of the guys put something up in Australia, I saw it, and the other bits and pieces. They are around, but as John has pointed out as well, apparently Edard have gone back to Zvezda and said to them, and they're on about doing them 800 more units, so that means, I don't know, does that make it a limited edition? Is no longer a limited edition? I thought a limited edition would be 500 units, that's your lot. That's what makes it a limited edition. I think I'd feel a bit con now if I'd gone out and bought one, knowing that, well, actually it sold really well, so it's no longer a limited edition because I've gone out and got some more. Don't know, what would be your feelings? I think if I, you know, as you know, I'm a bit of a collector, and I like my sci-fi stuff and stuff like that, and I've got a few things which are limited editions. I think I'd be a bit niffed now if they decided to turn around and say, sold really well, so that limited edition run of, say, 500 units, we're now going to do 1,000, because that way it's not as limited as it was before. Don't know. Anyway, so, today, what we're going to plan on doing, we are going to be tidying up studio. Oh, I've got a guest. Chris is coming down to see me this morning, so Chris will be here around about 10:30 as well. All right, so I've got a member coming into the studio for a bit of a coffee and a chat, but this is what we've been working on. It's very shiny, isn't it? In fact, this is the new clear, which honestly, look at the tail. I gave the tail a couple of coats because that decal on the back is really, really thick, and you know I had that sticky problem. So I gave it a couple of coats just to bend everything down. But look how shiny that tail is. This clear is a lot more shiny. I have got that little cup as well up in the studio, sorry, the office upstairs where we do the editing and everything. That is up there. So what I'll do is I will get that out later and we'll see if it starts to yellow. Remind me at lunchtime. Okay, but there we go, that's on. So what I'm going to do now, funnily enough, is going to get a wash, and I'm going to go straight in there with the old dark dirt wash right over the top. It's all it's going to have. It may be a little bit too shiny. I might have to give it down. But to be honest, I gave this a coat quite heavy of the new formula clear. Well, it's not new formula, the US version of clear, which is this one. So we gave that a squirt of it everywhere, quite heavy, just to get these decals. As we said before, they're very thick, they're very heavy. They need something to blend them in. So we did that. And then literally, I gave it a light dusty coat afterwards, but doesn't seem to have done much. It's one of those things. The bottom, well, I don't know, even the bottom looks really shiny to me. Does it look shiny to you? I think so. So anyway, that is going to get a coat of this in a minute. Let that dry for about half an hour. We'll wipe it all off and everything else like that. Now this morning I have got a couple of deliveries coming in, which I will share with you at lunchtime as well. And as I say, we've got Chris coming in the studio for a coffee and a chinwag just for a little while, and then I'll push back on with it. And then obviously this afternoon, last up, we'll be back to doing the gallery. Fear not, folks. I know a load of you said, what about no gallery? It's all real looking around the forum. I don't know. Again, let me know what you think. Would you rather have a gallery on a Friday or look around the forum? Your call, guys, your site, and everything else like that. So there we go. There you go. There's 5 minutes already. So there we go. I'm going to push on with that. We're going to get that all done. Got a new tripod as well. Do you like this one? This one goes really high or really, really short. I mean, stupidly short. So you get me in every angle now. And also I've gone back to the vlogging camera. As I said, I know the other one, it's big and it's great and everything else, but it's too big and it's too bulky to carry around and everything else like that. This one is a lot nicer having it on its new stand like that. Anyway, I'm going to push on with this one, get this one done, get the wash onto it, wash on, wash off. It'll literally be an hour's job for this one, be nicely weathered, and then we can look at obviously coming in with some post shading, some post weathering and everything else, getting this one finished off and everything else like that. Okay, next up, a wash. Really simple, can't get much more simple. We're going to be going in with the old dark dirt. We're going to decant it into a cup first, and then we're just going to brush it right the way over with this one. Always decant it, never do it straight from the bottle because you might contaminate it. And what by that means, you can actually maybe pick up a little bit of clear, stuff like that, if it re-moistens it. So that way, if you used to be in here brushing this on, but if you go from here into there, you can take the surface of this and put it into your wash bowl, and you don't want to do that. So you've seen this a million times before. It is literally just as simple as grabbing it and brushing it on. Okay, here we go. Great unboxing. So what we have down here is a very nice big box. Into it. Now in here is something I've been waiting to see. Hopefully. Okay, so, and it's upside down. Always a good start. Right. Okay. What should we do? Oh. We've been talking about them recently, and we love these ones. This is the Rise of the Bubble Tops. Okay, so this is Edard's one. They've also done the art one for this, which I do believe comes as a slightly separate. But basically, this is very, very nice. It's the Edard kit with all the bits and pieces in there, and you get it down here. So, quick, so the artwork is in here. Something like that. I don't know, it's in there somewhere. But anyway, with this particular one, it's like a dual combo set. So actually what you've got is the Bubble Top Spitfire, and you get the 190 as well in 1/48 scale. So something that I thought would be a quite nice one to see. Something for me, I've always fancied doing one of these, okay? So I've always just thought, right, one day I'll get one. To be honest, it was cheap. So I thought, bang, yep, good, one of those. Now, this is where the box gets bigger. This is the eagerly anticipated, if I can get it even in frame. There we go. This is the MiG-31 Foxhound by Hobby Boss 1/48 scale. So really looking forward to that. Obviously we can put that bang up with, is it over there? Yeah, there it is, for the AMK one as well. So we might do a little bit of a side-by-side review on that. As you know, I'm planning on doing bigger, longer reviews with a couple of kit manufacturers, so you can see side-by-side exactly what you're going to get. So this will be the first one of those sort of super reviews, which will be up with you next week. We got it here. Okay, something else that's new, just come out as well. This is the SU27 Flanker B 148 scale. Obviously before that all we really had was the Academy one, so it'd be nice to see how this one stacks up. And keeps going on. Again, something completely different, you know me. Got a mortar unit. So I thought we'd have a go with that one as well. Looks like some metal in there. That must be the artwork for the actual kit itself. We've also got some defensive barriers. This is the, what do they call those? It's the bag ones which they fill up. There's a guy in England who invented them anyway. So we've got some of those, so that'd be interesting to see. And last up, purely because it was cheap, and you know me, I'm a complete anorak. So we've got here the X-Wing. I don't know, I may be doing a bit of a series on how to upgrade cheap kits and save yourself a fortune. So I bought that one in just to see if we can do it by taking the easy kit stuff, and let's face it, they're quite cheap. This is a big lump. This is actually, look, it's 43 centimeters long, so it is quite big. So something I've got planned for the future. So there we go, that's the ones. As I say, full reviews on all of this will be up with you obviously over the next few weeks. Okay, so the wash has been on, to be honest, a couple of hours. So we can see here it is totally dry. Remember, you don't want any wet spots. Not so much of a problem this guy down here, but genuinely want to avoid little wet spots like that. Wash on, wash off. That simple, that quick, all done. Okay, so what we're going to do, let that just dry, final minutes, go round, give it another wipe around, because like down here you might notice you get a little bit of pooling. So just come over with a clean bit and just give this a wipe round absolutely everywhere. Just make sure you've got it off of everything. And then what I'm thinking is, we might just come back with a little bit of, just like that guy, might glue these on now. What we'll probably do is give this a sort of flat coat right the way over this to knock it back. Okay, but what I'll do is I'll take a little bit more time just whipping around this, but as you can probably see, just looking at some of the details in here, you can see how it makes everything pop. Okay, so wash work done. Wash on, wash off. It's amazing actually, and I know I'm going to sound like a complete hypocrite here and all the rest of it, but it still amazes me how well the wash works. It just goes on and comes off. And I know I invented the stuff, but still it is literally, you come along, you do it, and you put it down, and you go, yeah, okay, put it on, comes off. And I invented it, weird. Anyway, lovely to meet Chris this morning. We had Chris down for an hour. Lovely guy, nice to chat to, and everything else like that. So, pushing on very nicely. So anyway, enough of it, I'll show you exactly what we've done. So, do I have to... Yeah, sorry, we were slightly zoomed. Let me zoom you out. No wonder I was close a minute ago. Okay, so there we go. That is our aircraft done. And I know I say, as you say, you know, about the washers and everything else like that. I don't like to push our products, which seems really stupid, but technically they sell themselves. But as you can see, it worked an absolute treat. And the more I'm working on this, the more I absolutely love the colour Be interesting to do one of these in grey. They do a grey scheme of this as well, an anniversary one. I've got a real taste for it and everything else. And also I was doing a little bit of research about the colour. To be honest, I'm still not convinced it's the right colours, but hey ho, too far now. Actually, yeah, I love the way that Mitsubishi says that they were inspired by the Jaguar for the design of this, but at no point was any Jaguar copied or anything else like that. And you go, okay, fair enough. It's got the Jaguar engines in it though, so how could it not be? Obviously they've taken that entire section from the Jaguar and using it like that. But I love the way their statement was back in the day when they were designing it, that it wasn't actually designed on the Jaguar. Or anything else like that, but it uses the Jaguar engine, so that's why it looks the same at the back. So I do like that idea. Anyway, it's still a cool looking jet, very nice, the 3-seater, okay, and everything else. So yeah, that's that one done. As I say, what I'm going to hopefully do is get a satin coat on this. I think a satin coat should do this quite nicely, so what I might do is just semi-gloss up a little bit of flat, stick that over it, let that dry, and then we can get in here, open up the bottom, get the doors open, all the bits and pieces. We can get the pylons fitted onto this now and actually get this on its gear. What I'd like to do is have it unmasked on its gear, ready to go by the end of today, but I'm rapidly running out of time. I've got to do the orders and all the bits and pieces yet, but generally we are getting there. So that is it for the minute. There we go, a bit further away now. I'm going to crack on with this, push on with it, and then what we're going to do is have a look at your great work and everything else on the new show tonight. And there we go, what a great day, and yes, it's done and finished. And literally just done it. It's still probably wet to touch in a few areas. Great build. Loved it. There's something really satisfying about doing a Hasegawa kit. You know, these are the 90s kits, and as far as I'm concerned, it was like the heyday of modelling. The 90s, it was when literally the hobby was dying out, the internet came along, and then all of a sudden it was like bang, and you had companies like Hasegawa. Unless you went to specialist shops, you would never know about them, and stuff like that. But with the sort of, you know, the birth of the internet, being able to buy stuff literally at will, and everything else like that, it was great, because then we got to get to these great kits, and they just fall together. They are so nice. Again, just a little bit of flash, just watch it, test fit it, and you'll have no problems with it. As you say, the Phantom kits I still maintain, although okay, Academy has now superseded it, but those Phantom kits are some of the best model kits I've ever built in my life. It was beautiful. It was that big thing, it's recessed panel lines, and it goes together pretty well, no problem at all. It's only when you start shoehorning resin in they get a bit iffy, but they're great. And even their Tomcat, and I know we're speaking a lot about Tomcats recently, and I'm going to be speaking about them a lot more when the AMK one comes out, but it's nice to see that classic kit. It goes together, it gives you a beautifully, highly detailed, with flaps, slats, gum bay, sorry I won't go through, and all the rest of it. And it's like light years ahead of its time really, considering, you know, here we are today, 20 years later, nothing's really moved on that much because they were absolutely there. But there we go, this is my entry into the Big in Japan group build number 1. So yeah, this is this guy done. I'm hoping it is dry now, but you can see we've done the underside. Obviously this is going to be making a lot of appearances next week. I'm going to be starting on this. Is my next entry into the group build. We're going to be having this. I wanted, to be honest, to clear the decks, get everything out of the way so I could get to grips with this, because let's face it, it's not small, but we are going to be doing things at the same time. Don't panic, I'm not just going to be building this, but you're going to be catching up with that. But I did want to sort of clear everything out of the way, clear the decks, and then there's going to be a lot of sub-assemblies to this, a lot of painting work, a lot of detailing work. So obviously I wanted to make sure I have plenty of room for it. And now we've pushed through this one, literally only started last Monday and it's done. We can go through. So obviously the next parts are going to be up next Tuesday and Wednesday. Following that, then obviously we have the Gundam, but as you might know, it's Sid's wedding next week as well, so you might get an extra part up on Thursday because of that. But needless to say, those kits we showed you earlier, they're going to be up for review next week as well. So there we go. Look out for this guy. He is coming very, very soon. So up with you today, a few things on tools. So the MRP Scribers, or Mr. Scribers. Yeah, okay. The black one works fine. The blue one I'm not sure of, and the other one, let's face it, it's just a point. That's the concise review of it. Obviously there's a full review and I show them, and I show you in detail them actually doing the lines and all the bits and pieces, so you can go off and have a look at that one. We were talking as well about the MRP paints, how that they need to be mixed really, really well, and really all paint should be mixed really, really well. And yes, you can put an agitator and like an M5 stainless steel nut in there, it does a trick fantastically, but I was sent one of these. Yes, this is the Badger paint stirrer. You know, the only thing I've got against it is the trigger is a little bit like a hair trigger on it. You've only got to touch it and it goes for it. Okay, and it's very well balanced, so really it's no problem. But this trigger is a little bit, you put your hand near it like this and it tends to go. But anyway, I've done a review on this and we show about mixing up stuff, and we mix up some wash, which is probably the hardest thing it's going to have to do, right the way through to paints and everything else. And I have to be honest, I've used this for mixing all of the paints. See what I mean? Hair trigger, don't touch it. All of the paints on this one. And I don't know why, but I seem to have the smoothest paint finish I've ever had. Now, is this because the paint has been properly mixed? It well could be. It could be that thing where I give it a shake for a couple of minutes and that's it, isn't enough. And if that is the case, then I've been going wrong for absolute years, okay? But for this one, especially, the paint seemed to work really, really well. Yes, we use MRP underneath, but the rest of it is guns, and I use guns all the time. It's just acrylics, okay? But it worked very, very nicely, all of it, with no problems anywhere whatsoever. So it could be that this has sort of changed my painting and made paint smoother. We get less clogging, spitting, and everything else like that. And I always say a good paint mix is basically half of your problems, okay, out of the way. So it could be worth investing in something like this. Obviously, there's other things on the market. You've got the Mr. Shaker. You've got other versions of this. There's a couple of Chinesey ones, which, to be honest, I had one a few years ago. And as I said, it wasn't the shaft, it was all over the place. It was pretty horrible and all the rest of it. But this thing seems to work really well, apart from the trigger, like there, is lethally delicate. So if you've got it just in your paint or coming out your paint and you do that, you end up wearing it and having a complete nightmare. So that is about it for me for this week. As I say, really busy week. Loved it. Got those great reviews coming out for you for next week. And you're going to be getting a lot more of this as we make our way through the painting and then obviously the weathering stage of it and bringing this one to a conclusion. I'm going to get on with the Gundam as well. So it's going to be a great week next week and everything else like that. I know loads of you hate it when I don't show you work on the gallery. Honestly, it's not a conscious effort, okay? But obviously at the end of the day, we have to show other things. But I will do today, for 1 week only, a double episode of actually everybody's work to catch up. So last week's and this week's will be shown in the gallery right the way through. A couple of things to remember, guys, about the gallery. I tend to pick the first 2 photos. They tend to be my primary ones I'll go for. I will grab those, they go into the editing software and away we go, okay? But try and do 2 nice overall photos, okay, with it. So take one from preferably a sort of diagonal down the front and one from the other side diagonally this way. It just makes it easier because in 2 photos, it's very hard to show everything, okay? But if you've got diagonals from both sides, you get a bit of everything back from the back and obviously from the front and all those things. When they're nice close-ups, that's great when you can show 30 photos, but when you're trying to do it as an overall for just perhaps 15-20 seconds, really you need to get as much in as you can, okay? So if you can make photos 1 and 2, that would be fantastic. The other thing I do have to mention, some of you upload in funny formats. Our software can't take it. So the bit where we try and take it and it goes into the actual main editing software, if it's not a standard JPEG and all the rest of it, it's not going to like it. So some of you have locked images as well, where you can't just scrape an image from a site for whatever reason. If it's like that as well, we won't be able to use it. My last point as well, whilst we're just on it, if you've got your website and all your details and everything on the image, we can't use it either, purely because of copyright. Because later on down the line, if you decided you didn't want us to use it, we've got that video, we'd have to delete the entire video. So sometimes I try and crop them off. It's nothing personal, it's just a bit like why we can't show other people's videos and that, because we don't want to get a copyright strike against us. So that's it from me. Go off and have a look at the reviews for the tools, maybe treat yourself over the weekend for something, and I'll catch you all next week.
We wanted to run, we wanted to fall together. Back then our world seemed so clear. We grew so bright, shimmering lights around us. We'd take flight into the sky. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. You will see. You will see. that's right in front of you. There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. Take my hand, I'll lead you on into the stars. We'll ride away from all the wars, close the doors and disappear again. And I don't know how many times I've said that this is not the end, and we will make it out of here alive. Oh, alive. Alive. Oh, alive. Alive. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. You will see. You will see. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. How many worlds would you cross to use the light that's right in front of you? There is no light on the other side. I say, look straight ahead and you will see. You will see.